Here's my setup for this video. I passed this place before, possibly a couple times, but for whatever reason I never stopped. Today I decided to stop and take some photos. As I drove away, I saw a guy walking up towards the main road on his driveway. I almost didn't go back, but just as with the video on my channel of the woman with the message on the back of her vehicle, whom I also spoke with and interviewed, I decided I wanted to hear and document his views and opinions. I went back and I explained what I wanted to do, received his permission, and then started recording, though we were kind of already into a conversation at that point. I find it interesting to learn about the thoughts, ideas, opinions, histories, and motives of different people. I think I mentioned not wanting to include my own opinions in the video at one point, but speaking with him I found it was almost as if my camera wasn't a thought in my head, and I found myself wanting to engage in the conversation more than I planned, so I did. You have a right to your own opinions, but I found this man to be up to date on current events and to be a friendly and decent person. I expressed my opinions and did my best to let him do so as well. After the camera stopped rolling, we continued our conversation for some time before I departed. I hope both he and his close ones enjoy their lives and stay safe. As always, if your comment can't stay on the subject at hand, or is nothing more than an ad hominem or personal attack, or a weak-minded attempt at trolling, I'll exercise my right to treat you as I would in real life and remove you from my presence with an understood well-wishing of frig off, and when you get there, frig off again. Thanks for your cooperation in this matter. I'm moving on. Here's the vid. Start recording. So here's the deal. I passed by this a few times, and I've never really stopped. Today I stopped. This time, I stopped and I took some pictures, and I thought, why not get somebody's story or what they think, because everybody has a story, everybody has opinions. I'm gonna let this guy say whatever he wants to say, and that's his right. Personally, I think both sides are driving us towards the same wall of tyranny, but at the same time, I do think Trump had a lot better ideas and did a lot better than many of them. What would you?
He definitely did, and honestly, in my own opinion, when it comes down to parties, and the beginning root of it was diversion in the first place. Both parties were. There never should have been a different two parties. It's one party, the American party. Plain and simple, that's as much as it comes down to.
Right.
I don't care where you're from, but
I tend to agree with you. You were saying that you don't really subscribe to either party.
No.
Also, but you like Trump.
A lot of views I even see, like even liberals. I can't stand liberals, but libertarian, another view to me, is another whole term.
Right. Well, here's the thing, and this is my understanding, and I could be wrong about this. My understanding is that true liberalism used to stand for free speech, not shutting down free speech. People being left alone to live free, government staying out of their business. Now I believe, and this is again my opinion, I believe it's been twisted into something that true liberalism is not.
Completely, and that's where I don't consider liberal is not libertarian to me. The two part, it's completely different to me, and as you said, it's a whole different view. It's mindset in the same sense, and even libertarian, they have conservative views. It's pretty much what it comes down to.
Right.
Liberals and conservatives, libertarians and conservatives are pretty much people like me and you, just normal basic people.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you though about the parties, and it took me a while to get to that point, but I just see the left driving us towards the wall at 100 miles per hour and the right driving us towards the wall at 75, 80 miles per hour.
Well, as soon as people finally wake up and realize that the whole government and everything, it's beyond the government, it's even the cause and root of the whole entire tyranny of the whole system to begin with. I mean, it's beyond just two parties. I mean, it's beyond even just our one country.
Right. No, I tend to agree with you.
People wake up and realize the government's never been for us in the first place, and absolute nothing but control. And
government's for government.
Exactly.
And that's why
it's not for the people, and it never
right.
has been. In the first place, I mean, all the agencies as it is, like CIA and FBI,
I call them the Central Intelligence Agency and either the federal bunglers of investigation. There's another one I have.
State or
right.
Mossad agents, to me, whatever you want to call them. Either way, they're foreign agencies. They're not even nothing to do with America. The same thing with Washington, D.C. They're not even it's not even part of America.
I've heard arguments about that. Right. Oh, Federal Bureau of Intimidation. That's pretty much how I consider the big alphabet agencies. But
either way, and all of them down to constitutional wise, neither one of them are constitutional. They neither have the authority, and they were only formed
Well, they certainly don't support the Constitution,
No.
especially the ATF, who constantly rewrites, redefines, leaves people in the dark so they can take more weapons and more rights away from people, and then makes their own laws.
That's why people wonder why they think we're not in communism. We've been under communism rule for a long time. People don't just understand it. Same thing like the IRS. It's a foreign-owned agency. It has nothing to do with America.
Okay.
Sooner people realize that in its own sense. I mean, the whole thing with the income tax, it's completely unconstitutional. It was only formed after they pushed it in during World War II. You didn't say it was supposed to be brief, though. But in all reality, it has nothing.
Well, here's the thing about that. Anytime the government looks at you and says, we're just going to do this temporarily, we're just going to take this right temporarily, we're just going to take more of your money temporarily, you can almost guarantee, or completely guarantee, I would argue, that it's not temporarily.
Oh, no.
Once they get power or they take rights, you don't get them back.
Permanent. They just continue. It's just a snowball. Well, we got you on this. Well, we'll just keep pushing the same thing. Unfortunately, like places like Montana, we're shut down so bad around here, and as far as like woods with the Forest Service goes,
right?
Everything's gated off here. I mean, this is my hometown. I've lived here, born and raised here my whole life, and everything's gated off. I mean, we have loop roads, places we can go wherever we want around here, and you can't even access them because they think they gate it for animal wild habitat and stuff like that. In all reality, a lot of that they use our past and what we go up there and do in the first place and utilize the woods, but they've completely pretty much shut us out of it. And I mean, you can't get away with nothing anymore these days. You can't do. There's no freedom. When I grew up, you used to ride around here with dirt bikes. I mean, follow them right down the road wherever you want. Anymore, I mean, you can't get away with that kind of shit.
Here's what I heard. I don't remember who the quote is from specifically at this moment, but there's a quote that and I'm paraphrasing. I don't know the exact verbatim wording, but there's a quote that goes, you can tell how free a society is by how many laws are on the books, because the more laws that the government writes, it makes it easier, and this is my opinion, easier for them to intrude or find a way to use them against you or find a way to find some fault that you did so that they can gain more control of your life or take your rights or control you. And so if you look at all the laws that are on the books in this country and how they keep writing them and rewriting them and adding more, you would think that people would wake up and say, we're not really free, we're just in a bigger cage than a lot of other places.
Yeah, they just continue to erase the past and accept that, we just don't know about it. And, it's just not literally the written stones right out of the communist playbook. I mean,
right. Well, I've always understood that, it seems like the first steps from my understanding to taking control, complete control of people's lives is rewrite the history or erase it. Exactly. That's one of the first steps. I wanted to stop, and you happen to come out, so I thought it'd be a good time to get somebody else's opinions and stories, and everybody else can make their own opinion. I have mine, he has his, and everybody has a right to theirs regardless of what you think.
A lot of people usually stop by here, and that's it. Usually,
right.
It's entertaining to a lot of points. Since I put this up probably 3 years ago.
Right. You got red, white, and blue lights on your, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Usually during, the summertime, on occasion, 15, 20 people stop here every day driving by. I mean, it's a high tourist traffication as it is, but that's kind of the incentive that gave me to put it up, mostly because it is right in your view, and it's just a loud-spoken view.
I will say this, though, and again, you have a right to your opinion, but the whole Q thing, I think that was a distraction. I think that was just basically, if I tell you just relax, and trust the plan, and then I can get you to be complacent or negligent or sit by and watch things happen, then I've won. And that's what I kind of consider the Q thing was.
Well, one thing to it, there's a whole lot more as far as in that sense. A lot of it's just giving you knowledge in the own sense. As far as going and doing your own.
Right.
You gotta look it up yourself. I mean, go do your own research.
Research for yourself.
That's the whole biggest thing, and that's a lot of it that you can pretty much, a person could take out of the whole Q. It ain't QAnon. I mean, Q is supposedly a person.
Right.
An individual. But either way, it's all about, doing your own thing. Figuring your own mind out and your own mind and body and soul.
Right.
Finding out what's righteous, and either way, like you said, do your own research, and the person individually should find their own self.
That's what I tell people. Hold on, wait till this That's what I tell people. I don't care if you believe what I say or anybody else says, but do yourself a favor. Remove your head from your own anus. Don't believe everything everybody tells you. Do your own research and stop drinking the Kool-Aid. That's kind of my belief.
And that's the whole it. Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Think for yourself.
Right.
Do your own thing. Positive change. I mean, that's the whole biggest thing. The problem with the country, they don't think for nothing. They don't think for themselves. They think for what they're told.
Right.
Plain and simple. That's one thing I can say I can take from the whole Q thing, is it woke a lot of people up to the realization that there's a lot of things you need to just look for yourself and find out.
I agree.
Sometimes the ramifications, the horrifications behind it are beyond manageable.
Right. Let me get a shot of your hat. I like the make liberals cry again. That always makes me laugh. I appreciate your time, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know about everything or the rest of it, but I will tell you I do agree with no more bullshit from this government. You guys have a good day.